That's right. It's your friend's mental health. Let's get right into it. That's why you came. That's why you want to watch it, okay? It's Well Speak Live. I am DJ Anthony. I'm not a DR. I'm a DJ. Always check with your healthcare professionals because I don't know shit. Okay, so don't forget, like it, subscribe. So that's the least you could do, okay? You struns, okay? I'm getting my ass kicked here in Jersey. Make it goddamn happen. Let's go, baby. Hit that subscribe and share the show with somebody you love. All right, so listen, your friend, all of us in life. Okay, your friend is going through some mental problems, and some stress, some problems. And I wanted to make this episode today because, with the advent of another school shooting, and I know where I am here in New Jersey, there's been some also local news of, unfortunately, people, you see it a lot everywhere, but of late, there's been some people who have committed suicide in my area where I'm living, and made the news, and I'm like, wow, with the school shootings and with people taking their lives, we can never talk enough about our mind health, you and I, everybody, and so I wanted to talk about that and what you can do, because I think sometimes we watch the news and we hear like, oh, the senator's got to pass this bill and the president's got to sign this bill, and yes, they do. When people commit a heinous crime like a school shooting or shoot up a nightclub or end their own lives, I mean, this doesn't happen overnight. These people, this thing that happens to them in their mind doesn't happen overnight. It's a cancer that slowly grows. And so, yes, our government has to do better, and I'm not going to get into politics of it, but we can't just be like, yeah, that's life. Like we're better than this, man. We're America. We're better than this. But it's easy to look and point the finger and say, yeah, government's got to do it. I can't do shit. You watching, you can do stuff and you must do stuff. You are called to do something, and I'm called to do something. Now, it might be on a grand scale, it might be on a small scale. Doesn't matter. We're all called to do something because people live around us. We live in towns and communities. And I'm not necessarily talking about, like, how can I prevent the next shooter or the next person to take their own life? There's that. But what about people who are suffering, who are depressed, who are having anxiety or like I said, depression, like, or God forbid, right? Like those people who wind up committing just heinous crimes. Again, it didn't happen overnight. What happened in that person's family or friends or school or life that they didn't understand or didn't see or didn't, take into account or just kind of brushed it off, or like I said, locally in the news, there was a person that, a relatively well-known person in our area community that took his own life. Good guy, seemed to have everything. So what could we have done? I mean, and again, I understand it's the family's responsibility. It's, the government's responsibility, but it's also our responsibility. If I know and somebody is struggling, it doesn't have to be suicide or drugs or it could be that, it could not be that, or whatever, but we don't know what's going to make people click and hurt themselves, or lose their job or lose a relationship. It could be anything. Again, the school shootings and suicide, that's the extremes, but our mind health is a spectrum. It's a sliding scale. And so for us to throw our hands up and be like, I don't know, it's not what I can do. It's thoughts and prayers, Padre Santo Spirito, it's thoughts and prayers. That's a fucking cop out, man. And so I'm not saying be a superhero, but what I am saying is look around, and I have friends of mine, that I know, and I knew, and I know that they're struggling with sadness, depression, alcohol problems. And in my opinion, it's, I have to call them up and be like, hey man, I'm just thinking about you. Let's get together for a lunch next week. Especially men, us guys, we're tough. We'd rather die before we ask for help. Very rarely is someone going to ask for help, especially a guy, because they're supposed to be tough. Suck it up. I'm fine. Everything's good. Yeah, and then they drown their sorrows in a beer. You know what I mean? That's not good. So if you see a friend or someone you care about, and like, hey man, I haven't heard from you in a while. Let's get together. Let's do a lunch. You know what I mean? Reach out to them. Don't do this number. Hey, my door's always open. Okay, that's a passive aggressive fuck you. You don't give a shit. And don't get me wrong, that's sweet of you to say, but your door's always open. I'm sure you mean well, but you have to add to that, hey, I'm taking you out next Thursday. Okay. I want to see you. Okay. I haven't seen you in a while. Now the person is probably going to acquiesce and say, fine. Or they might say, Thursday's bad. Then you follow up with that person again and be like, no problem. How's Friday? How's Saturday? How's 2 weeks from now? Like, and if they keep on blowing you off, or if they say, listen, I'm not right now, I don't want to get together. Fair enough. You know what I mean? But we have to be proactive. And I'm not saying that's going to cure the world. I'm not Pollyannic. I get it. But just as mental disease starts off small, so does help starts off small. And I'm saying you and I, we have a 1% obligation to our friends, our acquaintances. You know, I saw somebody that put up on social media, and you see this every so often. You know, people put up something on Facebook like, you know, if you ever in need or you need help, you know, I'm always here. No judgment. You can always call me, and that's sweet. That's nice. But how many people, especially men, will be like, let me take them up on that. Hey, I saw your social media thing. I'm hurting. Can you help me? Like, could someone do that? Sure. Odds, it's possible. It's not probable, especially men. So my thing is, that's sweet. You said that publicly. Cool. That's nice. Add to that, you know who's hurting. You know who lost their job. You know who's getting a divorce. You know who's struggling with alcohol. You know who's struggling with mental health. Call them up. We are getting together this week, Tuesday, 3:00, whatever, Wednesday, dinner, 7:00. I'm like, if it's a friend, you know, if it's an acquaintance, meet him or her out. That's, I think, really, really big. Now, you're not a trained professional. Neither am I. But when people feel alone and they feel like they got no one to talk to, and maybe they're not going to pour their heart out to you, but maybe it's just talking about the Yankees and the Mets, whatever, you'll get a gauge, and then you'll see, oh, fuck, you know, they're really in big trouble. Hey, man, I think maybe you need a therapist. Like, you know, oh, no, fuck you. Oh, okay. But at least, you know what I mean? Because if something happens to your friend or family member, and you don't say like, I wish I would have known. I wish I could have done more. Well, this is it. You can do more. This is how you do more, was what I'm telling you, okay? Because I've had that in my life with people. And, you know, for instance, I knew a guy, and he wasn't even a friend of mine, really. He was kind of an acquaintance many years ago. And long story short, I find out he's struggling with mental health. He's an alcoholic. And, you know, I'm not some superhero. I'm not a trained professional. But I was so angry, so pissed at him. He was supposed to do some work around my house. He was like a construction guy, and he didn't come, and he kind of left me hanging, and I was really pissed. I didn't know that he was struggling, you know? Anyways, I found out he was struggling, and I wanted to like beat his ass or sue him, but I was like, you know what? No. I said, listen, dude, you got an alcohol problem, and obviously it's bad because you're not coming to work. You didn't even do the job to do for me. I go, here's what I want to do. Have you ever gone to AA? He's like, not really. I don't know. I go, no, quiet. We are going together. I'm going to go to AA with you, okay? Alcoholics Anonymous, okay? Now, I don't fucking even drink. I've never been drunk in my life. I've never been buzzed in my life. But I took this guy. I go, you're coming with me. This is not like, hey, you should get some help. If I call myself a friend, I'm not even this guy's fucking friend. I'm an acquaintance. I like him. But I was like, no, we're going together, okay? I looked it up. I signed us up, and I went in with him, okay? Now, we're not close anymore. I don't know. I hope. I like to think I did my part. Do you know what I'm saying? And I went with him for 1 or 2 meetings. I got him going, and then he took off from there. I understand he's doing better, you know, in his life. But my point is, if I can do it, you can do it. It doesn't take a fucking rocket scientist. You don't have to have big muscles. You don't have to have money. You know, like, so when we see these school shootings and murders and suicides or alcoholism or people fucking falling apart, you know, like, if it's somebody in your sphere, family, friends, acquaintance, maybe a colleague, like, do more than just, hey, my door's always open. You can always call me, right? If you ever need someone to talk to. That's a passive aggressive fuck you. You know, really it is. And again, I know your heart's in the right place. I understand that. And that's better than nothing. But what needs to be done is, hey, tomorrow, let's go out for coffee on me. And you don't have to ask probing questions. Just be there for the person. And if you hear something or something's off, hey man, you know, maybe therapy, you know, and you know, there's numbers. I mean, you got what is it? I believe it's 988 is the crisis. Is it 988? It is. I believe it's 988. Anyone can text that, but you might have to grab that phone in front of your friend and be, listen, I am calling 988 right now, dun, 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 and in front of your friend. Let's do it together. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been twice in my life very, very pivotal in saving 2 people's lives. Now, I'm not saying that they won't relapse. I'm not saying that they might not do something bad. I'm not saying that they're cured forever, but I did what I could do, and we're all called to more than just, hey, call me if you need me. No, I called for help with the AA, and I went physical AA, and the other person, a friend of mine, I called for help, and got him patched with that, So notice how the two men, and I'm not saying women don't suffer, but men hide more about it. Men are ashamed more. And if you have a fucking brain, that means you have mind health issues. I like to say mind health because if you say mental, it's a non-starter. You're not crazy. And by the way, sometimes these evil people who do school shootings and really fucking heinous shit, sometimes they're just evil. There's nothing wrong with them other than they're evil. They're not mentally ill, because that gives the mentally ill a bad rap. 99.99999% of mentally ill people are of no danger to anyone, only themselves, if anything. So sometimes, when we see these shootings, they're just bad people. Sorry, or they could be mentally ill, but it's correlation. It's not causation. So just because you're mentally ill doesn't mean you're going to be a school shooter, or doesn't mean you're going to commit suicide. But usually, not all the time, but yes, if you're a school shooter or suicidal, you're going to have a mental illness situation. But most people with mental illness don't do bad things to themselves or anyone else. So, don't be scared. And by the way, you, me, we all have mental or mind health issues. Stress. Oh, what's the matter? You're stressed? Were you weak? No, it's normal. Your anxiety, or you're depressed, that's normal. You lose a job, going through a divorce, or you broke up with your girlfriend, your boyfriend, you whatever, you got hurt physically, or, you have anxiety, depression, whatever it is, like it could be anything. You bipolar, or, but anyways, it's hard to reach out for help. And most of those people are not going to call you because you said, my door's always open. They're not going to be like, oh, hi, can you help me? They're not going to. If they're doing that, it's already almost over. So you, me, put the radar up. Hey, I see my brother, my sister, my cousin, my friend, my acquaintance, my colleague, don't ask, are you okay? Like, they may or may not say this. I want to go out coffee, me and you. Okay. Dinner. It's on me. I'm paying. You know what I mean? That is a big step. And again, you're not their therapist. You're not their mommy, daddy. But if you care about the person, you got to do more than just, yeah, I'm always here for you. Well, then fucking be there for them. You know what I'm saying? And I know you mean well. Then do it. We have to do this. And again, we're not going to solve everything, but it's, the home is the most important, then the schools, the government, and then us. We have a 1%, 2% obligation to our friends, even maybe more. Maybe we have more obligation than just 1-2%. Maybe we have a 90% obligation to our friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're the closest. So if you call yourself a friend, you gotta also make some hard statements, some hard calls sometimes. Hey man, I love you, but we got a problem. I want to recommend 988. It's a free helpline, and we can call it together. I'll call it. Be here with me. Let's talk. Or I know for myself, just for my daily stress, I go and I use BetterHelp, and they should be paying me. They're not. It's an awesome app. You can do phone, FaceTime with therapists, and they're very affordable. Many boards of health, churches, synagogues, mosques, community centers. If you're willing to look for your friend, you look for your friend. Your friend needs to be led, because especially guys, they're not going to fucking do it. We're too tough. We're too cool, and going to the bar, drinking, that's a form of real shit fuck therapy. It's bullshit, so you need to talk to somebody. And again, you're a friend. We're not trained therapists, but we can help guide if we're a friend. And it has to be more than just, I'm always here for you. That's great. Step above. Just step up, okay? So, anyways, and I'm not saying your friend's gonna be a killer or something like that, or gonna do anything bad like suicide, but again, there's a whole spectrum. I don't want to see our friends, right? I don't want to see our friends struggle and be sad. I don't want to see our friends, lose work. I don't want to see our friends, drive themselves sick. That's the bulk of really what happens. Again, the shooters and the suicides, that happens too, but that's rare statistically speaking. Most of it is depression, and I'm lethargic, and I don't go out anymore, and I can barely work. We can help our friends with that stuff, and so and maybe we might be able to help save a life from suicide, or even from worse, hurting others. And so we have the power, and again, I'm not saying we're God, I'm not saying we're superheroes, but the little we can do, we got to do it, and we got to step up more from it. And also remember, like, don't overextend yourself either, because we're not trained therapists, we're not somebody's mommy, but if we're a friend, that check in, if we can't see you face to face, hey man, haven't spoken to you in a while, what's up, bro? I'm just thinking about you, man. So, and share maybe some of your stresses. My wife or my husband or my daughter, my son, my boss is driving me crazy. Open up a little bit, because then they'll open up a little bit. You know what I mean? They need to be led. So, and don't text. How you doing? That's better than nothing. But it's got to be phone call or face to face, or FaceTime. That's important. So, anyways, there's a lot we can do to help people who are suffering, and we all suffer from time to time, right? And think about it, it's not the proudest moment to say I need help. Most guys ain't going to do that, and so women are typically a little bit more mature about that, but women suffer too, but they're a little bit better at maybe reaching out, generally speaking. But yeah, women can shut up too and not want to talk about it, and that's not good either. So anyways, what else did I wanted to mention? By the way, like, subscribe. Come on, do it, damn it. Yeah, I mean, look, what else? Yeah, could be just, all of those things, like I said, the stressors of life, really, that can kind of get us down. It doesn't have to be catastrophic. It could be, again, do you want to be stressed out day after day after day after day after day? It's good to get out and talk. And I know in my church, I started or reignited our men's group, and I was like, if we just meet once a month for breakfast, and some of the guys are like, oh, what the hell is that going to do? I feel like saying, well, shut the fuck up, because right now we got nothing, bro. Okay. So at least getting together and talking, and that starts to open up things, versus let's not meet. And I don't know, you can never have enough connections. And you can say, I talked to my wife, I talked to my girlfriend. Oh, that's sweet. But you can never have enough good connections. And if all we do is once a month meet at the goddamn diner for breakfast, cool. That's a win. Us guys are talking. And from there, relationships and friendships and bonds are made. And that's all the difference in the world. That means everything. And so I said, if that's all we are for our men's group, our Christian men's group, so be it. We're going to do more than that, of course. But if that's all we are, then that strengthens us. It strengthens me. It strengthens you. So, and again, it could be your Jewish group, your Muslim group, your Hindu group, your whatever, your atheist group, your social group. Doesn't matter. But anyways, my point is, we need each other. We need face to face. And if someone's hurting, and sometimes they might not say they're hurting, I'm fine. And if they're not fine, you know what I'm saying? And so, just because you drive a brand new Mercedes and you live in a mansion doesn't mean you're not hurting. So, and listen, I'm not saying, if somebody's truly doing good, then they're doing good. Don't bother. But if something's up, like they lost their job or they had a breakup, or, people hide shit, man, like so far as their emotions. They might say, no, I'm fine. I know you just lost your mom or your dad or your job, or, you know what I mean? Like, check in on them and get together with them, hey, if you're close enough, you know what I mean? Like, hey, let's go out, So I know I always appreciate that when people did it for me. I'm doing it for people. And anyways, you deserve the best. The best is yet to come, I promise you. And it's a rough patch now, but it will get better. No questions in my mind about that. So, but you and I, and when we help others, it really helps us. So it's reciprocal. It's a win-win. When you feel an obligation, when you feel needed, when you feel like you're doing your best, who does that help? You think it helps the person? It does, but it also helps you. Think about that, right? So anyways, I want the best for you. I love you. You deserve the best. You got this. Our bodies, our minds are Ferraris. We put the best in our bodies and minds in Ferraris. We don't drink alcohol. We don't eat fucking bullshit. We get proper nutrition, proper sleep, proper exercise, proper communication with friends and family and loved ones. We do the best we can do. So anyways, I'm signing off, everybody. I got to go. Hey, don't forget, like, subscribe, share with somebody. If you watched it to the end, woo, God bless you. Padre Santo, Spirito Nome. Hey, who's better than us? Get God say, don't be a screws, all right? All right. Thanks, everybody. I'm out of here. Tune back in. More shows coming up. You're going to love it. 5, 4, 3, 2.